to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, don't tell them what to say. Tinfoil haters are here to save the day. And Sammy are about to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show.
Welcome back to the Tinfoil Haters. How are all you vital idols doing? A pre-stream legend before the intro was even over. What a guy. Guys, we got one hell of a story for you today. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this because when I brought up this is what we'd be doing this week on, I believe it was the Dooley show. Maybe it was Cooch's show. I don't remember. It was on somebody's show. Maybe it wasn't even on the show. Maybe it was in the back rooms of the show. And I was like, yeah, we're doing the Max Headroom Incident. Everybody was like, what's that? Like, what? What's that? How do you not know about the Max Headroom Incident? Like,
then you brought it up to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we can do that."
You guys knew about it, correct?
Yeah, I was excited. I was like, dude, I never even thought about doing that. That's a great one.
What about you, Cindy? Were you aware of the Max Headroom Incident?
Yeah, so we're hearing that somebody hasn't heard about it. I am impressed.
Dude, the Doolies didn't know about it. I think Niat may have, but almost nobody. It blew my mind. So there might be some newbies in here who've never heard of the Max Headroom Incident. And if not, you guys are in for a treat. But before that, we got to do some intros, acknowledge some vital idols, and we have a special announcement. So my co-host and partner in crime, Sammy 3P, tell the people who you are and what you do.
I'm Sammy 3P. You can find me on Twitter. I make videos, and I have a couple of live streams of my own, and I'm in a band that plays music. There's links and stuff to all that, and we're currently working on a new album, and I'm hoping it will be dropping by Christmas season. So
Nice.
Bingo, bingo, bongo. You love to see it. More importantly, as Halloween season, I got a taste of Cindy. I guess you guys will get to see it later. What, tomorrow? Is that what it is?
Tonight for Midnight Sin.
Who you are, what you do, and definitely what you got coming up. Because let me tell you, they're gonna love it.
Hey guys, I'm Cinevere. I am excited for October. I am getting as much stuff ready for the Halloween month as I can. So keep an eye out because I'll be wearing a costume tonight. I even got a special room set up for you. I cannot wait.
A private room, in fact. No, you'll love to see it. That's great. Alrighty, guys, let's get in some vital idols. Give me one moment here because turns out the setting wasn't quite correct. Let's change that on the back end. That way I can manage and see. There we go. Alrighty. Who all's in the house? Let's take a look here. Philip Morgan was first. What up, brother? Piranha Pow, David Lovely Piranha Pow. Faye is here. St. Hugo, hail to you. Get some shut-eye, but I appreciate you doing the rewatch, brother. Gravestone in the house. Crow Vax. We got our boy Jake motherfucking Martin. How you doing, brother? We got Dax, not our best mod in the whole damn land. Peepers, the titty kitty. Of course, Sammy gonna be keeping it real with you guys in chat. Alfredo Chorizo is here. Go Kerryman in the house. Cindy will be locking it down with you in chat as well. Let's see. Do we have anybody else to take note of before we get really into this? The lovely Sherry. Oh, and she changed her profile picture. Well, how you doing? And Cammy White 300. What up? What up? Well, guys, before we get into the episode, and Fat Roller just showed up. What up, Fat Roller? Cage of Chaos or Kage of Chaos.
Yeah.
Bearded woman herself, LFG. Alrighty. So there's been merch on this channel for a while, guys. There's been merch on this channel for a while. There's been the Hondo merch, the Bingo Bango Bongo shirt, there's hats, even a Countercast hoodie. But it occurred to me, there was no Tinfoil Haters merch. And this is one of the flagship shows. That has now been rectified. I would like to show you. You can purchase this from my main page on my YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel, go to store. The official Tinfoil Haters Greatest Hits shirt. Government controlling the weather. You got the Men in Black, Haunted Dolls, Project Bluebeam. Got the logo. But there's also, which is my personal favorite, the Mothman shirt. We've got this is my favorite episode we've ever done. The Mothman, and we got all done up making it look like it is a classic 1960s style horror film. And tonight and tonight only, what we're doing is for every $50 we make, and we're already halfway there to the first one, thanks to Jake Martin. So my man, thank you so much. For every $50, we will do a wheel spin for one of these shirts of you guys choosing to be won by one of you guys in the audience. So if y'all want, I get a shirt of your own accord, or if you want the chance of winning one tonight, for every $50, you can choose which one you want. You know, the Mothman, or of course there is the Tinfoil Haters Greatest Hits with some of the portions of our thumbnails for what we've worked on. So yes, that is the big announcement. We've got the official Tinfoil Hater merch. It is in the house. And since we're talking about merch, thank you so much, Jake Martin, dude, coming out the gate strong. Absolute legend. This is for you, brother.
Chip, you know what? You just made the list. Oh, no. Oh, here we go.
Thank you, Jake. Truly appreciate it. Pillar of the community. Absolute legend. All righty, crew. Let's get into the show. We've got the Max Headroom Incident. Without giving too many spoilers away, Cindy, we'll start with you. When did you find out about this? When did you hear about it? What do you know that you can still be sort of mysterious about, the whole nine?
I think I heard about it from like a group of kids in my school. They had told me about a guy that looked kind of like a cartoon that took over all the TVs for like a second. But that's like, I don't know if that was like they were talking about it from their parents or not, but I heard about it from other children. So it felt more like a ghost story.
Interesting. All right, Sammy, what about you?
You know what? If I'm not mistaken, I probably saw this on like a Chills countdown video like 10 years ago, like number 15, like that guy. And then I was like, oh, I gotta look into this more. And then I just went down on a deep dive, and yeah, the whole thing is odd, you know, and I can't wait to talk more about it, because the more details that you give, the stranger the case gets. And
absolutely, yes, you are 100% correct. All right, well, let's start with Max Headroom himself first, because we can't get into the TV hack until we know Max Headroom. Now, obviously, we're not going to watch all of this. You know, it's 7 minutes long, but you know, 1980s, some of the best Max Headroom quotes. Max Headroom was a pseudo-digital talk show host. He wasn't really digital, but that was what they were trying to portray. That was the vibe they were going for. It's late 80s. It's you know, high tech. And for those of you that have never seen the original Max Headroom, this is him.
Still alive out there? Good. This is Max Headroom. Max Headroom.
wow, that editor's earning the shit out of his money.
Boy.
He's not much of a
And this is a guy in a suit with a bunch of prosthetics. This is not actually digital. Sorry, what were you saying, Cindy?
I said he's not much of a conversationalist.
No, not really.
Well, I would have loved to have a conversation with Max Headroom. No, this is
George. Well, oh, me neither. I mean, hey, how you doing? Come on, sit down. What do you say to coffee? Oh, no, I'll get it. Next day, I say, hi. I give him a smile, and he cuts me dead. I don't know where I am with the guy.
So this is Max Headroom. He was a TV talk show host, and he was the sponsor for Coca-Cola. That is semi-important to know to this story.
Oh, well,
so,
sponsor for New Coke.
New Coke. So let's talk about the Max Headroom incident itself. The Max Headroom Incident, Chicago's creepiest TV hack. And frankly, not just Chicago. In my opinion, there's been a slew of TV hacks. And maybe one day on Simple Haters, we'll do like a greatest of TV hacks episode or something. But I feel like this one warrants its own full-length episode. But this is one of the like strangest, weirdest, and also kind of inspiring, like in terms of just the mystery of any TV hack ever. Like not just Chicago, ever. No disagreement, I assume.
No, not at all. I mean, whatever they were trying to portray, they were doing the shit out of it. I don't know what they were trying to do. But yes, it is very inspired, to say the least.
So, on the night of November 22nd, 1987, televisions across Chicago hiccuped in a way that still haunts the world. It was just another lazy Sunday. Football played in the background. The evening news flickered, its anchor steady, reciting the day's tragedies and triumphs. Viewers of WGN TV were settling into the familiar rhythm of their routine, and then it happened. For 22 seconds, reality bent a little bit. Now, before we go further with the article, there is actually footage from individuals that were taping the news that night, so you can see what this looked like in real time. I want to put you guys in a headspace. Imagine that you have come home from work. You're eating dinner with the family, or you're lounging on your couch, whatever. This is pre-internet age. Go back to the analog era, and you're watching the news, because between that and newspapers, that's the only way to get shit. There's no internet. Video games aren't online. You're doing whatever you would be doing if that were the case for some of you younger individuals who have never experienced that world. And this is what happens.
Sean got a good break on it. Fortunate enough, we scored.
Then they scored again at the Lions 31. Wayne Larrabee called it like this on WGN Radio.
2-yard line, and McMahon back to throw. Dumps it up the middle, right open McMahon. Cutting left to the 20 to the 15 to the 5.
McMahon and McKinnon, 14-0 Bears. Then the defense.
I'll still never like watching the Bears score on the Lions.
Oh man, that old sound.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I. Actually, the computer that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild. So what we're going to do is start over from the top with the Bears and tell you once again about the 30-10 victory they had over Detroit today out at Soldier Field. We'll show you from the top and show you again the change that they made today on defense with Maurice Douglas as the nickel back. He made a great play, one of his first chances, and scores 2-1. So the Hawks need a comeback tonight out at the stadium.
Okay, Dan. Very good.
A lot of good sports action today, huh? Twice, some of it. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
You liked it so much that you really planned that, didn't you? Sure, I did.
okay, Dan.
Now, what would you do in this situation? All right, before we go any further, by the way, I know it breaks the mood, but happy birthday to Philip Morgan. He just announced in the chat his birthday. Happy birthday, Philip. I think we gave you a happy early birthday like a week or so ago, but because you said it was coming up. But since today is the day, happy birthday. Spending it here with us. So happy to hear that, brother.
Tantobu omedetou.
That as well. Now, now that we've got the context of the original broadcast, just imagine you're watching the sports recap on the nightly news, and that happens. How do you react? What do you do?
I would be fascinated. Like, I
Yeah.
think that would be the first time I'd ever be interested in football.
Sorry, Sammy.
I think there would be some sick fascination, but I also think this probably scared the shit out of some people. Like,
I think so too.
or people might have like damaged their TV sets from like hitting the side of it, like giving it the old Fonzie, going like, oh, what the hell's, because it was all airwaves, right? Well, I mean, I would assume most people had cable. by this point in time, but still a lot of people were watching it just with the bunny ears. And
well, even if people had cable, this was your local news, so you were watching the local news
Mhm.
probably no matter what. If you were wanting, again, to get your sports updates, your weather updates, this is prime time. What time did I say this happened? It was right like around 6 or so p.m. Between 6 and 8 p.m.
Yeah.
regular news time. Or I think it was maybe the 9 o'clock news. I think this is the 9 o'clock news, but even so. So yeah, this is I agree with you. This would have been I'd have been freaked the fuck out. Like, because that's Max Headroom was a household name. I mean, that mask you could have bought anywhere. And this individual is doing some demonic twisted version of him. It takes over your TV. It only does it for 20 seconds, then it's gone. You have no idea what you saw, why it was there. Like, I would have been terrified.
I must be the odd one because I would have been hyped as fuck. I would have been like, hell yeah, they're gonna take over our television. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have thought, but if you would have told me that like that week, like there was a bunch of like heightened like schizophrenic activity, like I would believe you, because I just feel like things like this just really don't happen, and just the noises are unsettling.
Well, they don't happen. You're right.
Yeah, like it's the costume is off-putting, even if you know that it's a Max Headroom mask, or you know what I mean. The whole thing about it is just weird, and then with the noise and everything, like, yeah, I think I would. There were plenty of people who were disturbed by this. And although I agree with Cindy, like if I were watching it, I would be fascinated, but like I would also kind of be like,
I mean, I'm fascinated. Absolutely, I'm fascinated by shit that terrifies me, but I would still be terrified.
yeah, I'm sure a lot of people thought this was like some weird terrorist attack, or which technically it is.
Yeah, you're right. It, in a way, you can consider this domestic terrorism. In fact, we'll get into that. We'll get into who did the investigation into this, but that was only part one. For 22 seconds, reality bent a little. The screen crackled, twisted, was suddenly overtaken by a man in a rubber Max Headroom mask, bobbing and twitching against a backdrop of swaying corrugated metal. His voice distorted and movements jittery. Then, as suddenly as it began, he vanished. But later that night, it happened again. This time during a Doctor Who rerun on a PBS affiliate, WTTW. This time, the intrusion lasted longer, nearly 90 seconds. Now, let's set the stage again then. At this point, it's 11 at night. After 11 at night, you're lying in bed. You're watching Doctor Who to doze off. You got work the next day. And then this happens. Let me, here we go.
You should walk often with the old ones of your tribe. That is the only way to learn.
I'll get you a hot drink, miss.
I've done some dry
Oh, I just made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds. My brother, where was the other one? But it's dirty. That's what you got for coming to get me.
far as I can tell, a massive electric shock. He died instantly.
Some guy's like, I don't remember that in Doctor Who.
Max Headroom is a Dalek confirmed.
Yep. I mean,
So-
he sounds like one.
Yeah.
You talked about Cindy that you would be fascinated, but when it happens at 11:22ish or whatever time it was after 11:22 I believe was the report time. When it happens at 11:22 at night, you're lying in bed, lights off, watching Doctor Who, and then that happens. Are you still fascinated, or are you at that point? Are you terrified now?
I mean, I don't know, because it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to answer that one. I wasn't allowed to watch a whole lot of TV.
Well, put yourself in that headspace. Okay, you're not fucking retarded. You can do hypotheticals. Like,
Well, I mean, like you think differently as a kid than you do as an adult. You know what I mean? So as an adult, that to me is still fascinating. I would have loved to seen it. I didn't want to see his butt though. I mean, like before that, it was still interesting.
well, and he did a couple of interesting things. You know, he threw the Pepsi can, said "Ride the wave." You know, obviously that's the dig at satirizing Max Headroom, because Max Headroom was the spokesman for New Coke. So he throws the Pepsi can, "Ride the wave." He he's getting his ass spanked, but he also mentions Swirsky, which was a news reporter on WGN, which was the channel they had hacked earlier that night. Now, why his name was brought up, that's the question, Jake. What does it mean? What does any of this mean? Now,
I don't know that he it looked like it was more random than anything. Like he just came up with stuff on the fly.
So mostly I would agree with that, aside from calling out the newscaster's name and it being the same newscaster from literally just a couple hours prior. That is, and also calling him, a freaking liberal. Like, it's like someone had a grudge against him. I mean, unless, I don't know. What do you think, Sammy?
Well, there was like theories that it might be like an inside job, right? And it also sounds like someone who's like disgruntled, with someone, because he calls that reporter out, and he says things like "my files," and you know what I mean. So it sounds like you're mocking someone like that, but then you also have all that weird stuff on top of it, and then he starts humming the song from Clutch Cargo, which is very weird. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of all over the place, but it also, to me, it feels like guys who might have wanted to see if they had the capability of doing this, and then they pulled it off, and they were just kind of like blatantly celebrating and being as bombastic as they could. Who knows?
And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into, so now that we've got the context of what these are, we're going to get into the mystery and the investigation behind it, because, spoiler alert for those of you that don't know, there's no answer at the end of this episode. To this day, this guy has never been found. No one has ever claimed to be the one that did it. There was the FBI got involved in this investigation with the FCC, and to this day, no, they don't even have suspects at this point.
That's
so.
Fine. What did Doctor Who play on back then?
So this was on an PBS affiliate, WTTW. So again, it was a local PBS affiliate in Chicago. So let's go ahead and talk about the suspects and the investigation, because yes, the hunt continues. To this day, we have found no one. Though the FCC had found most pieces of the puzzle, the biggest one remained: who was the man behind the mask? Rumors about the identity of the person responsible for the Max Headroom hack floated around, but they were quickly dismissed. Most weren't even investigated. It seems whoever did this simply faded into oblivion, satisfied with their work, uneager to continue drawing attention to themselves. Over the years, a few names have reappeared in forums and on Reddit threads. Among the most popular contenders is Eric Fournier, the creator of Chez St. John. Now, are you familiar with Eric Fournier? Anybody on the panel?
Nope.
He had like a weird YouTube channel like a
Correct.
long time ago.
So, and when we say a long time ago, we mean a long time ago. So, for those of you unfamiliar with Eric Fournier, You might be familiar if I play these clips right here.
Wish we could do an episode on these.
Look at Birdie. Bun bubble, bun bubble, bun bubble.
Bun bubble, bun bubble, bun bubble.
Look at Birdie.
God, our dress looks so good.
Oh, Dad.
God, so excited. It looks like it cost $1 million. I love you.
So,
Is he
that-
the I Feel Fantastic guy?
No, but it's very kind of like similar in design and stuff, right? Because yeah, I remember seeing these videos back in high school.
Yeah,
And,
correct, as did I. And this is the character Eric Fournier made, Shay St. John, a fictional model who's disfigured. This says in a car accident. This article is incorrect. It was actually a train accident in the original lore, and recreated her body from mannequin parts. Now, so there was a lot of suggestions that this hack was done by this dude, by Eric Fournier. However, there's some problems with that. Before we get into that, do you see the similarities? Do you know why people would come to those conclusions?
Yeah, I mean it's the same type of odd, right? It's just this is just a little bit. This has a little bit more production value, where in the kind of the voice. I mean it's very hard to make out what the original video says, right? Because it's so garbled. But like I would say that they're kind of similar.
So Eric was so he was born in the 60s. He was in punk and metal bands. He was in the punk scene in the 80s. Moved out to LA to further his music career, but he was incredibly shy. He didn't actually like acknowledging that he was the lead singer of a band. He didn't give the audience a lot to work with. He was like, he would more treat them as they weren't there. And while he was in LA, he got really into filmmaking. But he never really wanted to be the star, which is why he did things like that YouTube video where it's just this weird mannequin doll creature. He was, I mean, like Jake Martin said, visionary ? And yeah, that's pretty apt. Like, who is he? What is he? The problem is, we'll never know if he was the Max Headroom guy because he died in 2010. These videos are old. These YouTube videos of the Shay character are old. Because he died in 2010. So, like, yeah, I remember seeing this shit back in, like, I don't know, 2007 on YouTube and thinking it was fucking terrifying, but couldn't look away.
Well,
However,
I didn't hear about this until the late 90s, and that was more along the lines of kids passing along rumor. Or not the late 90s, but in the 90s.
are you talking about the Max Headroom one?
Yeah.
You mean?
So it's like seeing that and then seeing the new stuff. It's like, how do I put it? Oh shit, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You're all right. So, over the years, Eric Fournier, the creator of Shay St. John, that's the name of that character if you want to look it up. Fans of Fournier's Shay St. John point to the artistic similarities between his bizarre, campy videos and the hacker's surreal and disconcerting footage, notably the use of masks and unconvincing prosthetics. But those who knew Fournier best, however, say the link is tenuous. His bandmates are sure Fournier had little to no experience with broadcast communications, and they don't think he was in Chicago at the time of the hack. They do, however, acknowledge that he would have been amused to be the subject of such rumors. So, I mean, look, if your band is all like, yeah, I don't think we were there and we weren't in Chicago in the 80s. Like, Sammy, you're in a band. I'm pretty sure you know when your shows were, what your shows were. You'd be like, I can tell you where we were and weren't.
And also, like, my bandmates are quite familiar with me. Like, we spend quite a lot of time together. So, if they would vouch for me on something, like, I would pretty much, take it as regard. And also, they make a great point. He got into film. This is something else entirely. You're talking about hijacking radio or like airwaves. You know,
Yeah.
you would have to get into electrical engineering to do that. That has nothing to do with, oh, he knows how cameras work. That's just,
Exactly. There is no evidence that Eric Fournier had any knowledge of any of the tech know-how to do stuff like this. And even if he did, when we'll get into this a little bit later, the technology required to pull something out like this off, it is mind-blowing. This isn't like the internet now where you can like stream snipe somebody and do random videos, live streams. Like the technology required to hijack local news airwaves is actually quite impressive. So yeah, I do not think it's Eric Fournier, although he's one of the leading people. And again, he's dead, so we'll never know. Sadly, Fournier died in 2010 from internal bleeding, the result of a long battle with alcoholism, and can't confirm or deny the gossip. So then this goes on to talk about other interruptions. We can, again, maybe cover those on a different episode. But I want to talk about this right here as well. Oh no, don't tell me I lost my highlights. Oh no, they're right here. Perfect. Okay. So there was another, this story regained steam. In fact, this is how I found out about it, was through a Wang video. Are you guys familiar with the creator Wang?
Yes.
yes.
So I learned about this through that. And he was covering the new update, or the time it was a relatively new update, about how the Max Headroom guy may have been found. And it's this story right here. It appeared that whoever was behind this stunt knew what they were doing. They likely had legitimate experience in broadcast engineering. They also undoubtedly had access to powerful equipment needed to override the signals of both networks, or had created their own impressive microwave equipment, which, mind you, both networks. This happened on two completely separate networks.
Mm-hmm.
After all, whoever done this had figured out how to smother WTTW signal from atop the Sears Tower, which is more than 1,400 feet in the air. Engineers estimated the cost of being able to do this, of smothering a TV station signal, would cost thousands of dollars at the very least. More average estimates put the cost of necessary equipment somewhere between $10,000 and $25,000, putting it well beyond the expense of a couple teenagers in a garage. So
I don't agree with that, because it feels like a lot of times people aren't in touch with the current technology. And kids know how to circumvent a lot of stuff. Like, if they're tech savvy enough, they're able to.
I mean, I get what you're saying, Cindy, but we're talking about broadcast equipment in 1987.
Yeah, we're not talking about like jailbreaking
the
a switch.
FCC and the FBI.
Yeah, this is, and also too, those broadcast stations were in two different locations in the city, so they either had to have something that was mobile or something that was perfectly in between within that range, which is, you're talking about some pretty powerful equipment. So I as much as I do agree with you on things like that, Cindy, it was like, this isn't like, oh, someone jailbroke an iPhone. Like, it was like, this is someone disrupted so much that you have the U.S. government looking for you.
Yeah. And technically still looking. I mean, I'm sure it's considered a cold case, but technically the case is still open. Go on to say, go for it.
Well, another thing too is even if they came out and said like, hey, I did it, they wouldn't be able to prosecute because the statute of limitations ended in 92. So like,
I didn't read that. I didn't know that.
If they wanted to, they could just be like, hey, I'm the Max Headroom guy. Like, and you know,
it's so weird that nobody has claimed that that's who they've come forward with this, because most people that do wild criminal shit like this, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of people, they want the fame, they want the glory, they want you to know they did it.
Not true. People also like to just troll.
Well, and that's what this could have been. This could have been one of the earliest cases of digital trolling. Well, I guess it'd be analog trolling, but still. It was believed that whoever was responsible had likely transmitted their own signal from a rooftop of an adjacent building. That seemed to be the most likely way to overpower the signal coming from TV stations. The only other alternative, them broadcasting from a ground-based transmitter, would have required an incredibly powerful transmitter. Robert Struzel, the chief engineer at WGN-TV, said, You need a significant amount of power to do that. The interfering signal had to be quite strong. Unfortunately, because the method of this hijacking had been so simple, with hijackers simply smothering the station's outgoing signal and replacing it with their own, there was no real way for investigators to track them. It wasn't like they had spliced into the network somewhere or left a mark. They had simply used airwaves to broadcast their weird videos, knowing where to strike and when. So that brings us into the, let's see, where's it right? Yes, here. This article about the second set of potential suspects. The second prevailing theory, proposed by a computer programmer from Chicago named Bowie J. Pogue, holds the communications gorilla was born out of the local hacking culture of the late 1980s and fostered by a loose group of hackers who hung around local bulletin board services. It was a scene to which Pogue, who was then only 13, was eager to belong. There's a difference between being an 80s geek and today's geek, he said. We're more isolated socially than kids are today. By the way, this article by Vice was written in 2013. So they're interviewing this guy in 2013 about him being relevant and as a 13-year-old in 87. Though a newbie, Pogue managed to integrate himself with older hackers and began attending small gatherings where board participants met to socialize in real life. At one party in 1987, he remembers meeting a small, peculiar man he guesses was in his 30s, Jay. Jay was socially uncomfortable and may have been autistic, Pogue said. He was looked after by his older brother, Kay, who lived with his girlfriend in an apartment 10 miles away from downtown Chicago and strewn with computers and cables. There was very little standing room, he remembers, and one normal piece of decoration, a large rainbow-colored kite suspended from the ceiling in one corner. The brothers were close. Jay was a stocky guy with tinted lenses, perhaps in his early 30s, and just sort of odd. Kay, who he remembers having worked for the phone company, was very normal-looking by anyone's standards. J and K, he added, are not obviously their real names. The younger brother was childlike but extremely intelligent. Jay knew a great deal about not just the broadcast spectrum, but the electronics that underpin that sort of stuff, said Pogue. He was a broadcast hacker. He was also an oddball, where most people would say in conversation. Jay would say oh at various links or ooh at various links. Scaring people in perverse ways was his technique for making new friends. It wasn't until later Pogue claims that he made the connection between Jay and the signal intrusion. I look at the guy in the mask, he said, and I see Jay. Around midday on November 22nd, 1987, the day this would go down, Pogue was at a small gathering of geeks at the brothers' apartment, where there were 3 or 4 people standing around Jay. They were smiling about something Jay was referring to, and I heard the word big. I didn't ask at the time what they were referring to. I stood with my back to the wall the whole time, terrified of being ridiculed or asked to leave. The group relocated to a nearby Pizza Hut. While there, I asked a few of them what they meant by big. Kay leaned forward and told me, watch Channel 11 later tonight. A view from the top Willis Tower. There's a photo there. Pogue shrugs out the particular fact that the connection didn't occur to him immediately the next day when news of the incident began to spread. The fact that one of them told me to watch Channel 11 later that night was about as weighty as a remark as a dozen other things I'd heard that day from them. He said, I know it sounds strange, but I honestly didn't put 2 and 2 together at the time. It didn't even click in my head that it might be Jay until I was an adult. The more I thought about it, the more everything clicked. 25 years later, Pogue decided to post his story to Reddit, concealing the identities and keeping the details vague. The post spread fast and helped to jog the memories of at least a handful of Redditors who had watched the episode live. I contacted Bowie to hear his account and then asked if he would pass along interview requests to the brothers. Bowie was happy to oblige. A few weeks later, I heard back. I tried to reach both Jay and Kay separately via email and via Facebook, but with no results, he wrote by email. Not even an acknowledgement. I don't even have the ability to say that they heard from me. The only thing I can say with total certainty is that I sent the message. I think it's clear that whoever it was, they're not interested in talking. Social awkwardness, not fear of the law, could be a major hurdle in coming clean, he mused. If it was Jay, the exposure that would come as a result of admitting it would be terrifying. Pogue's claim itself could be an elaborate hoax, as a ruse to distract attention from someone else, including himself. Pogue could offer no physical evidence, though he pointed to comments made by another Redditor who claimed to remember the brothers. After the broadcast was broken into, the commenter wrote, word was going around the D-dial scene about who did it. Fingers were being pointed at the guys living in the apartment. Of course, it was all deny, deny, deny. At my request, Pogue made at least one last attempt to summon the hacking duo via certified mail. He had said that he used personal information such as services like Spokio and Tellius, YP people to determine that the brothers own a house together, just down the street from the parents. After weeks of waiting, he wrote back, exasperated with our request. I refuse to try any further, he wrote. It's abundantly clear to me they wish to be left alone. I'm going to respect that. In May, Pogue returned to Reddit to describe the response he had received in his post, including my own. Now, we're going to actually read his response. So before we get into his response, what do you think so far about his theory that it's these 2 brothers?
Yeah, I solved it. The J, it's a good one. Jay Goodwin did this.
Honestly, Goodwin may have the ability to do this.
I agree.
Well, if that was his brother, then his brother just had no problem touching his brother's ass.
No.
No,
It's a woman in that video. It's
Yeah.
a
Oh, it
woman. that
was?
people think
There
is
was a third party.
Yeah, hold on. We'll go back to it. You can clearly tell it's a woman. People theorize that it was Kay's girlfriend. So
It's
here,
a third party butt toucher.
I would be impressed if that is the case because she's been able to be quiet about it.
You can tell it's a woman.
No, I can't. Okay, thinner arms, so maybe.
Thinner arms and a little bit of her bust is in there.
You can wear padding. You can't see any skin.
I mean, fair enough, but like, if it was K and J, it was probably, and K is known for having a girlfriend. It was Goodwin's, I don't want to say it was Goodwin's girlfriend. It was probably Kay's girlfriend if it was them. But again, we're talking about, even if they're part of the hacking scene, hacking in the 80s is not what people think of when they see movies like Hackers and whatnot. Most of the hacking scene came from hacking long distance lines for cell phone or for landlines to get free long distance. There wasn't like it wasn't signal intrusions and interruptions. That wasn't really a thing.
For televisions or in general, because I know a lot of CB radio users that would do stuff like
for
that.
television. Yeah.
Okay.
So the hacking scene, for those that don't know, the hacking scene actually started in the 70s with model trains. The word hacker came from people that would hack train systems, electronic model train systems.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And then they used they realized they could use the same method to hack model trains, that they could use that with their home phone landlines to hack into the long distance operating system, for lack of a better term. I don't know what the actual technical term is. But yeah, exactly. By playing ship direct line connections, they found out the model train sets use basically the same setup as the direct line connections as the phone systems do, and so they're able to hack those and get free long distance. And that's where hacking came from. So, excuse me. This is B Pogue. So the guy that made the initial claims that it was the brothers. Now, this is from 10 years ago, but this is him saying there's new developments in the Max Headroom story. I suppose I should get right to the meat of it. Some of you who've been following that case might recall recently that we had hinted there had been a new development in the case, one that we might have the ability to talk about in days and weeks ahead. Well, we've now tied up our loose ends on that front, and I can now share what we know. J and K have been excluded as suspects in the Max Headroom incident. My original theory was incorrect. Did you see that one coming?
No.
Cindy? How? Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I was reading chat because somebody was asking you a question.
If they want to answer that bad, they can send a super chat. We'll focus on this. But go on.
Oh no. I know. Let's see. How like are they even go into how they?
Yes, they are. I
okay.
was wondering if you thought they'd be exonerated, but yeah,
honestly,
they
yes.
will go into it.
Honestly, I did think they would find somebody else.
Okay. Well, they haven't found anyone else. They just exonerated J and K.
No, well, I mean
background. Oh, go on.
No, sorry. I meant like somebody else besides those two.
After the publication of the Motherboard/Vice magazine article, which is the one that we were just going over, talked about the incident, Rick Klein, the curator of the Museum of Classic Chicago Television and Fuzzy Memories TV, which is who we were using to watch the original footage, and I agreed to stay in touch with each other. We become friends in the process too, which is kind of cool. Anyway, in the meantime, I occasionally revisited the idea of examining the video/audio end of the things in more detail, while Rick continued to interview folks connected with the local radio television broadcast industry in Chicago at the time. My own efforts were met with some limited success, but Rick's efforts have turned out to be vital. Several weeks ago, Rick and I had the luxury of meeting and speaking with several engineers and technicians who were actively working for WBBM, WTTW, WGN, and other companies in the Chicago broadcasting community at the time. They yielded a wealth of very detailed information, including specifics about what kind of locations, gear, physical access, and more importantly, the sort of station-specific knowledge would have been necessary in order to pull off the intrusions themselves. this was the kind of heavy engineering perspective knowledge that we had only bits and pieces to work with before and have been trying to obtain for some time with great difficulty. So basically what he's saying here, the easy version, Cinny, is that after talking with the people that run these broadcast stations, and of course, Pogue hung out with J&K, he was friends with them, so he has seen their setup, he knows their setup. He's like, they didn't have any of this. They did not have any of the technology that would be necessary, or not even necessarily, like 100% required to pull this off.
Have they done the research needed to be able to tell what kind of equipment could do that?
That's what he's saying. That's what he did. Yeah, he and the curator of the Chicago Television Museum went and met up with all the individuals that worked at these TV stations during that time to confirm the technology needed.
I don't know. I just feel like we're missing a big piece of the puzzle. Time travelers.
Oh, I mean, we absolutely are. I mean, to be fair, I like the J&K theory. I do, but it's there's so many holes in it. But Sammy, before we go on, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, we are missing a big piece. I really liked the brother theory just because it seemed like it had to be someone who was just doing it to do it, right? Because otherwise you would have this equipment would be somewhere. So like if you would say it was like this autistic brother, and you know what I mean, like it all kind of fits.
Right, the guy doing the Max Headroom stuff seems like he would be somebody who was on the spectrum. Let's be real. Like, he has tics. He has those random verbal tics. He has physical, visual tics. I agree with you 100%. Like, just the personality type makes sense. The guy said that the way he would make friends was with people was make perverse, frightening jokes. What do we see at the end of that video? Him bending over and getting his ass spanked with a fly swatter. Like, is that not a perverse, horrific good joke?
But but also the whole the tics, instead of going he goes,
says like,
which is something that the video is riddled with. And also when you ask like, hey, like, what are you guys talking about, and someone goes, yeah, check out channel 11 news later, like, that's damning. like that's,
right.
No one has ever told me that ever. Like, hey, I did something big. Hey, I did something big. Or all right, well, tell me what it is. Yeah, just turn on channel 4 later. I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you better tell me what the fuck you
imagine
did.
if right before the Boston Marathon bombing, someone was like laughing, like, oh man, things are gonna be good day. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh, just make sure you don't go to the Boston Marathon. That's pretty fucking damning. Like,
yeah,
the thing that it could be though is that these are pre-recorded. Like, you could tell they're pre-recorded because you still have to do all the editing and stuff to make it look
it's not
like
live.
that.
It's a hack. It's pre-recorded.
Yeah.
They put their pre-recorded video hacked into the airwaves.
So it's not like they can't give that footage to someone who has the equipment to do that.
But no. Well, I mean, yes, that's true, but we need to find out who has the equipment to do that, because it wasn't done from the station. The FCC was able to prove that the airwaves were hijacked.
What I'm getting at is that doesn't rule the brothers out. That just rules them out of having the equipment, not having the ability.
Well, that means they would be the ones that recorded it, but not necessarily the ones that did the hack. So here's the dealio. I do think the brothers had some inside information for sure. Why else would you say something like that? Like, hey, make sure you watch the news tonight. Like, that's a pretty damning statement. So I definitely think they at least knew a guy who may have known a guy. They word spreads in the hacking community, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was them that actually did the hack. Based on this right here. After the last round of interviews, which is an amusing saga in and of itself, see below, and having looked at the resulting evidence in this pile in total, Rick and I have concluded the possibility of this having been an outside job is basically zero. To make a long story short, all the things which needed to have been possessed by an outside amateur or amateurs, no matter how talented, simply didn't exist in the wild in 1987. This and other information we were able to corroborate is what allows us to free J&K as suspects with full confidence. Rick is continuing to work the theory that he has maintained all along, the angle that Max had ties to the local Chicago broadcast community. For my part, this pretty much marks the end of my direct involvement in the case. I'm actually kind of happy about it in a way, because it at least frees up the focus of the investigation and move on where it appears it should. For what it's worth, we recently obtained a photo of Jay. He seems like a happy, normal, well-rounded adult with a family. Far cry from the off-the-wall character I recall him being 27 years ago when I was newly minted, nervous 13-year-old at a party. So Rick and I are both here to answer questions, and then they go into an AMA. But yes, it boils down to this seems to have been an inside job. The technology just did not exist in the wild, which is, I mean, was that kind of what you were alluding to, Cindy?
Yeah, no, it was, because it's like all they had to know is somebody with like an extreme interest in television and radios, all of that. And you could find those, you could still really find those out in the wild. You just had to really look.
I don't think you could find in 1987. I don't think you could find
because
at your
there
local
wasn't
Radio Shack or whatever a microwave transmitter powerful enough.
I
to
didn't say
overthrow
that.
the local news station.
I didn't say that, but you're talking about people who can gather those kinds of equipment because they have an extreme interest in it. You had those kinds of nerds back then.
I mean, I've got an extreme interest in nuclear weapons, but I can't get the materials to build.
What
a
does that
nuclear
have to
fucking
do
bomb.
with radio waves? That's
I'm
a nuclear
explaining,
weapon.
Cindy, because just because you have an extreme interest in something doesn't mean you can get the
about
materials for it.
machinery.
I can't get the materials to build a nuclear bomb, even if I'm incredibly interested in it.
What Leon's referring to is a lot of those things, Cindy, are highly regulated in order to prevent people from doing things like this. Okay, like you might, the technology might have been on there, but it in some cases it was probably illegal to possess them. You know what I mean? Which doesn't stop people from getting it, yes, but the odds of doing it and it being a homebrew, from what they're saying here, is pretty much astronomical. Like, you know,
but not impossible, because people
not
prove it
impossible.
all the
Not
time with
impossible, you're right.
machinery.
Not impossible.
arguing
But
with you.
one of the things that puts a hole in your theory, Cindy. So every other broadcast hack that's been recorded that we that we can go over, that we can cover on other episodes and whatnot, every single other person for these big cases have been caught. And the reason they're caught is they've all turned out to be employees of the broadcasting stations within the broadcasting scene, because this technology is nigh on impossible for your average civilian to get. Like, is it possible that I could get myself a fully commissioned rocket launcher? It is
In Minecraft.
possible. In Minecraft, sure, for YouTube. But
Yeah,
it
but
is
you're
an
looking
astronomical
at weapons of war. What
0.0001%
I
chance.
am talking about is machinery needed for radio, TVs, something like that.
No, it's the same, Cindy. It is the same. These are government FCC regulated equipment. It is literally just as regulated by the
not build
government
your own?
as these weapons of war.
Can these people not, in some like bizarre happenstance, know somebody who knows how to build these things and does it for a living?
I mean, the odds of that are, you have to
It is
understand.
astronomical, but not impossible.
I'm not saying it's impossible. No, I'm not telling you.
I'm
it's
not
impossible.
arguing
I'm
that
just
it's
saying-
impossible. I'm saying it's because it's so highly regulated. The odds are not in the favor of that.
Okay, look, it is impossible to buy a bomb, right? You cannot just go onto Amazon and say, "Hi, I'm going to buy this bomb." But
Well,
you
it's-
can
it's-
buy.
I mean-
Well, hold on. You could buy small components in small batches, different parts. If you know what you're doing, you're
In
an
Minecraft.
engineer of some kind, right? No, this is purely hypothetical. If you are an engineer of some type, you can find the recipe. You can do it.
Yes,
It's there. It's the same thing with this. It's entirely possible to build your own equipment.
No, you're right. It is possible to do so, but when you look at the $10,000 to $25,000 of equipment, and again, that's 1987, so not adjusting for inflation. For the local hacking scene, I mean, we're talking about these dudes, the J and K, the brothers. They're in their 30s and just had a fucking small apartment. I mean, these are people that, let's be real, they're not exactly financially well off and spending big paychecks on stuff like that. Like, we're talking about
and there's another
thousands of
thing, too.
dollars.
Not even that. They already admitted that the power source would have to be incredible in order for it to overpower the signal. So the only way that you're really going to get something like that, and the only reason that we're saying it has to be an inside job, is because if there was a power source that big, the FCC and the FBI would have found it, or found somebody who has the stuff with the capability of doing it, because there would have been a drain on the grid. So you would have been able to see where that was when that happened. Even back then, it was like it's the same thing with we have meter readers then, we have meter readers now. Or it was like you would have been able to see where a large amount of electric power was used to power this high functioning machine. You would have been able to track that. So that's why they're saying.
Not if it's an inside job. So you have somebody who works at studios and they
that's
can.
what we're about to get into.
That's what we're saying. That's what
into.
we're saying. Is it? So we're saying it's not impossible for these guys to do it out of their a little apartment. There's plenty of ways that they would have tracked that it happened in this little apartment, right? So if it was an inside
not
job,
if they're building it.
No, because they still would have
once
to
they
use
it, once
the
they
power.
turn it on. Yes,
yeah,
you can
once
track
they turn
it.
it on,
you can track powerful. So, but let's talk about being an inside job, because that's what makes this, again, all the other famous TV hacks, such as the HBO hack of like 97 or whatever year it was. We were what?
Nothing to be a Duckworth that didn't catch the tele. And that was my favorite part of the UN meeting, because Trump was like, whoever turned off my teleprompter is in big trouble.
What?
Anyway, so the inside job aspect, there have been other signal hacks in the past, like I said, like the big HBO hack, and it's always been an inside job. And because it's an inside job, they've always got caught, because they can identify, hey, these employees were at this building at this time, they were on the clock, this, that, and the other. They do exhaustive interviews, interrogations, speculations, things to that effect. And they got nothing with this one. I mean, when you got the FBI coming in, it started off with the FCC. And you know what? Fair enough, FCC, this is still a federal crime. The FCC comes in. They're supposed to be the ones regulating the airwaves. They can't figure anything out. So the FBI comes in. And you're telling me that, and again, I do believe this is an inside job, but the question is, how? Because how is it done? If you've got fucking dudes in suits, if you've got federal law enforcement coming in and they're interviewing all these employees, like, all right, you have access to the building, you have access to this, you have how do they not have at least suspects? How do they not have at least suspects?
I don't know. Marty is saying that it depends on the frequency or the band used. Where is it? Frequency band. Here we go.
Well, and any other time that it's been attempted and been successful, they've been able to figure out where it was tapped into. Even if it was an inside job, and for a lot of times it was the inside job. And because it was an inside job, there was actually they were looking at the guy who did the HBO hack. Because it was only a year prior, it would have been impossible for him to do it, because I don't even think he was in the state at the time. I think he was in Florida. But the guy who staged that HBO hack, like they were able to catch him because they figured out where he tapped in. And so they were able to lead it back to him. It was like on this.
Right. That's another thing. If it was done from the station, if it was done from the station, they would be able to show where at the station it was done, because you could all that stuff's tracked, it's traced, it's recorded, so you could see when the broadcast shifts. There was no broadcast shift from the station itself, so even if it was somebody who worked there, they still had to have done the shift from outside the building, which again would require that level of technology. Like this is nothing adds up in this story. Like from a technological perspective, nothing adds up. Like, so let's say it's an inside job, which I believe. That means the dude who works for WGN or whatever broadcast station in Chicago, it didn't have to be WGN, but likely WGN, had to get all the equipment either off market or third party, or take it from the broadcast station, but had to set it up outside the broadcast station, because if you did it from within, it would be traceable, like what Sammy was saying with the HBO hack. And then no one notices that equipment's missing, or the FBI interviews people and they go to their house and whatnot, and they're like, hey, yo, what's with this giant fucking satellite dish you have here? Like,
yeah, Yeah, because keep in mind, it has to overpower the already immensely powerful broadcast transmitter. So also they're going like, hey, what are you doing with all these fucking extension cords? You know what I mean? Where is this going? Like, you would need a huge power source, and you would need something immensely powerful to overpower the transmitter. Like, it's just my only other theory is that it could have been mobile. If they were able to do it mobily somehow, like in a van or something, it might have been possible, since it wasn't a live thing and all they had to do is play it. As like, they obviously weren't slapping that guy's ass in the back of a van, but it was like, if you could fit all that equipment in a van, because keep in mind, it also had to change locations, or it had to be in a central location. So the closer you got to the tower, the better you had a chance of transmitting it, right? So one of the best examples would be is you put it in a van and you got as close to the site as possible. But in order for them to equally tap the systems, or overpower the systems, the only reason that I think that it's in one location and not a van is because they were able to tap into or overpower the second channel much more efficiently than they were.
No, because the first one was a test run to see if they could do it. That's why they didn't say anything.
No. So I don't know if I clarified this or if the article clarified it. The first one, all right, so because it was two different stations, the first station, WGW, they had security on staff, and they were able to. So once the signal was hijacked, they reclaimed the broadcast. So it's not that he wasn't gonna. It's not that he wasn't going to say anything or whatnot. It's not. It was just only 22 seconds of nothing. There is actually more footage that never got aired because they reclaimed the broadcast. They fixed the hack in real time. So WTTW, the people airing Doctor Who, since it was just a rerun of a TV show, of an old show, didn't have the same like live security that WGW had at the time, which is why it lasted much longer.
This would be a news broadcast during like primetime news, and this was at 11:30 on some syndicated show.
I don't know.
You're not getting the same personnel.
I honestly think Marty is kind of onto something here, because he says, when you use your phone and sometimes it picks up other people's calls. It used to happen with wireless phones like all the time back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that doesn't happen. However,
but
how many stories of that happening are there to TV broadcasting stations getting completely hijacked? Like, it's like the phone thing is a common occurrence because of the way wavelengths work. Is
this not the same? It's not the same. It's frequency bands. It's frequency, right? So would you not be able to do the same thing?
Yes and no. It is, but it is on a massive level. I think you're underestimating the level of power it would need to do this. Like you would have to either be at a very specific point, and either way, what I keep stressing is you would need a shit ton of electricity to do this. So that's where the mystery really is because if they would have to be inside, because otherwise they would have found where they were getting all this excess electricity, because you would just see it on the grid. The FBI would go to whatever the electric company is, and we were like, oh, there was a huge spike right here at the time frame when the signal was hijacked. It obviously has to come from this area. So the only way that you would be able to negate that is you have some sort of mobile power source, or it's inside a place that's already using an immense amount of electricity anyway. In theory, in my head.
I think, and that's one of the working theories. Like, in terms of how they did it from the electrical side of things, that's the prevailing theory. Is it was somewhere that already used this type of equipment, likely. So one of the another broadcasting station or whatnot. This was such a strange one to me, because I get what Marty's saying, and I get what you're saying in terms of like you said, there's frequencies. The shit gets crossed sometimes. Yeah, it accidentally happens, and it happens with small time devices that don't require a lot of power. This is it's just not the same. Like, we're talking about an intentional hack, and we're talking about an intentional hack of something 10,000 times bigger. Like, there's no accident here. And there again, if this was a normal occurrence, we would see this on, we would see this probably semi-regularly, or would have seen semi-regularly before, they stopped using, back when they still used, before they stopped using analog. Also, Emily Kruger, remember for 2 months. Thank you so much. I just recently went past 700. Hey, Matt, congrats. Way to go. Good job. 700. Dude, you're going to get that 1,000 soon. Absolutely. In theory, there's a lot of things that could be used. And
yeah,
if there's...
oh, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I was like, it's comparing like base Goku to like Super Saiyan Rose. Like,
right.
Like,
No, that's an incredibly apt comparison for the anime fans out there. And yeah, there might be a lot of things to be used, Marty. 100%, absolutely. The inability for the FBI. Hey, thank you so much for the sub, JP. The inability for the FBI to even find a suspect within any of these broadcasting stations. That's what makes this so weird. That's what makes this so strange. You're telling me that nobody that you interviewed, no one that you had any of discourse with, threw out red flags. You're like, oh, we could have a suspect here. How is it that we're, that every single other TV hack, at least massive TV hack like this, got caught by the FCC, if not the FBI, then the FCC, but this one didn't? There is something we're missing. Nothing?
No, nothing. Actually, you know what? I now I'm interested, because I'm sure it's not classified. We should see what the FBI has to say about this. Like,
put it like a FOIA request.
Yeah,
that would be. I don't know how to do a FOIA request, but if we can figure that out, that would be awesome. You're right. I highly doubt this would be classified.
I'm pretty sure I know how to do it. So I deal with them all the time at work. So
now, we've got one more thing to cover in regards to this, which was the resurgence in the 90s. And I'll be real, guys, I don't know how true this is. I spent like 2 hours trying to find proof of this. I went through old Usenet forums that were archived. Like, and if Jay Goodwin is watching, I really wish Jay was watching and give us insight, because he was a Usenet user way back in the day.
Yeah,
but
that's why he did it.
This is I believe Jay did this. Jay Goodwin, you guys know, is the one
a good one.
So this is the resurgence, the Max Headroom resurgence on the internet, early internet. We're talking like 92 on Usenet.
The Max Headroom carryover. A decade after Chicago's infamous 1987 Max Headroom hijack, echoes of it resurfaced online in the 1990s. Forum users reported receiving corrupted video files that featured brief flashes of the same rubber-masked figure spliced into unrelated footage. Some appeared in early file-sharing networks, while others circulated on obscure Usenet groups. The clips were short, often only a few seconds, and usually degraded in quality. In some cases, they included distorted audio, repeating phrases from the original hijack, such as "catch the wave." No one ever claimed responsibility, and the files never led to an identifiable source. Whether these clips were fan-made homages, leaked evidence from the original hijackers, or deliberate attempts to reignite the mystery was never proven. For many early web users, the fragments were unsettling proof that the Max Headroom prank still cast a shadow over digital culture. The unanswered question remains: were these just copycats, or signs that the original culprits never really stopped? The smudge.
All right, so this will probably be the last portion we do on this, but this blew my mind, because again, I can find no information on this. I scoured, dude, because I thought this would be a much bigger part of the show, the Max Headroom carryover from the 90s, but I couldn't find fucking anything. And so it makes me wonder. I mean, we gotta remember, this is 1992. This is file sharing on Usenet, video file sharing on the internet in 1992. It's not like you just went to fucking YouTube and then did like MP4 conversion link. Like,
Yeah.
how did you get these files? How were you sharing them? Who was sharing them? Go on, Cindy. What were you gonna say?
No, I can't remember being able to send files like that back then.
I mean, well, you could, but they had to be incredibly tiny, which is why he said they were only a matter of a few seconds long, and they were heavily degraded. So, with the resurgence, so this would be about 5 years later, 1992, this would be 5 years later. Is this the same person, or is it people that were in the hacking scene, found this interesting, and wanted to just throw shit back out there? There's so much fucking mystery here.
I know. It's so fun.
I mean, it would have to be copycats, right? Because that's an entirely different type of hacking, or because technically they didn't hack anything. They hijacked a frequency. You know what I mean? And then unless the guy's just like a jack of all trades, and you know, and just good, which I'm not opposed to that either. Usually people are who are pretty tech savvy. I mean, there's some bleed over, but like that's not the same type of thing.
Well, Cindy, go back to Bobby's comment right here. Earlier, he said the government. I couldn't tell if it was a joke or not, but I did want to touch on that. Then he says DARPA could, and he is correct. There is that theory as well, which frankly,
I don't know what DARPA is.
Oh, good. Unfortunately, you're near the end of the episode, but I would love to get your thoughts on this portion, because we're talking about when it recirculated on Usenet in the 90s, and how these files ended up on Usenet, and how these few seconds of video image files would get shared through file sharing sites through Usenet, and how they were heavily degraded, and there was no it was not traceable to any user. And yes,
go back to Goodwin's comment, please.
And what?
Go back to Goodwin's comment, please. We bet you did.
Oh yeah. That's what you know, Goodwin. You're late to the party. We've actually come to the conclusion that you were the one that did the hack. With the way that you talk and everything you seem to know and whatnot, me and Sammy are actually confirmed that you're the one that did it.
Jake too.
But yeah, no. In all reality, so when Bobby Blankenship says DARPA could, part of me wonders if this is some sort of DARPA test. Maybe it wasn't a group of hackers. It wasn't even anyone tied to the TV station. This was some sort of DARPA test. Now there's one hole in that theory.
Slap some dude on the ass with a fly swatter.
Well, I would say that's not the hole in the theory. To be fair, the government spent millions upon millions funding Project Stargate and whatnot, like psychic funding for psychic future analysis. Like, and I'll be real. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But the guy in the Max Headroom outfit, Max Headroom mask, called out the WGW newscaster. So if this was a DARPA thing, I don't know why they would be targeting this guy specifically.
Well, if you ask your kid, hey, make a silly video that uses Max Headroom, right? Say they had a teenager, then that's the stuff they come up with. And you know what? You're not going to see what your kid did because you're like, good enough. And then they throw it on there. As long as I cannot see your face, we can't really tell who you are, and we can filter your voice. This is good enough. You can have someone else make that video.
No, I'm not saying they couldn't have someone else make the video. I'm saying, why call out that specific newscaster that was just local to the Chicago area if it was DARPA?
I like,
and yeah, we talked about the HBO satellite hack a little bit. Good one. But yeah, basically at the end of the day, I really don't have much more to go with this unless you guys do, because I mean, like I said, we ended the same way we started with. This is a fascinating mystery that usually we're able by the end of the episode to be like, okay, this is debunked in our opinion. We think it's debunked, or no, we believe in this. Like, government controlling the weather, we believe in. I don't know about anybody else. Mothman, at this point, after our episode, I believe in. This, it's just a mystery. There's no fucking clear answer.
No, yeah. As a matter of fact, there's actually a bunch of plausible situations. It's just none of them are clear cut enough to be the definitive, because there's so many variables that you would have to, or there's so many hoops you would have to jump through to be able to enact this.
It was Mr. J confirmed.
Was his name Bowie Pogue? Good one.
Yeah.
No, I'm genuinely curious. I'm like, because the article we went over an article on earlier on the show, and it was done by a guy named Bowie Pogue. I'm curious if that was the guy.
I was gonna say, you don't forget a name like Bowie Pogue.
It was
Right?
Bowie Pogue.
Holy shit! Okay, I don't know if
cool.
Goodwin's fucking with us or not. I don't know if Goodwin's gotta be fucking with us. I'll talk to him after the show.
I don't know. The man's pretty well read.
If you've got me fucking going on stream just like this, you'll tell me off stream, because if you've got me going, that fuck you if that's the case. But anyway.
Oh my goodness, this is even more fun.
And he, BJP's, if I recall, nickname was Arctangent. That didn't come up in any of the articles, by the way. So good one, I just made something up, or he really did know the guy.
It's all coming together,
right? Yeah. Internet relay chat, interesting. Internet. If I recall, sorry, internet relay chat. His internet relay chat name was Art. Okay, gotcha. Arctangent.
That is
alrighty,
so
well,
cool.
we're going to mostly wrap it here. However, I will remind you guys, we will do one last push for it, because I want to give out a shirt, but we need 25 more bones. So if we can get one more set of 5 gifted memberships, or chat super chats ending in the total $25, we will spin a wheel for a gifted Tinfoil Haters t-shirt. You can choose either the Tinfoil Haters greatest hits or the Mothman classic movie poster, and we'll spin a wheel. We'll give while we're doing outros. And all right, never mind, I was gonna say while we're doing outros, Marty did it. Marty, fucking, first of all, Marty, give you a clip. Absolute fucking legend, you
cutie.
You know what? That's the end of the show. I think that given tonight's subject matter, this will be the perfect one. Bingo, bango, bongo. You'll love to see it. Marty, thank you so much, brother. Truly appreciated. All right, so let me set the wheel spin. Give me one sec. Let's see. And
Goodwin says if you check out the Aminet archives, you'll find arc packs which were tileable clip art done by Pogue.
Will you do me a favor and just start DMing this to me, Goodwin? Because I would love to. Yeah, I would love to look into this further. Maybe do a follow-up episode or just something. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because I'm considering putting in a FOIA request with the FBI to see what they have on this. So I would love to do a follow-up on this.
All right, I'm getting into the giveaway tool now. Give me one moment here. It is being a bitch. One sec. There we go. Is this it? Nope, that is not it. I used to have this link saved and it's gone now. Shit.
No.
Well, I will let you guys just riff and whatnot while we do this.
He says Pogue would have been too young to actually be involved. He was always a bit of a putz.
Yeah, that's what he said in the interview as well. He was about 13. He was recounting that there was some dudes in their 30s that he thought it might be, but later on he supposedly exonerated them.
Yeah, and he gave one of them the moniker of Jay.
Ooh.
Provocative.
Okay. Yeah, see, the bet he gave one of them is Jay. That's what makes me think it was our boy Goodwin here.
That's And the fact that he knows everything about everything. So, like, especially like in this field.
Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Let's share this tab instead. If you want to be entered, type in headroom. All one word, only one word. Type in headroom and hit enter. This is how you enter, and then we will spin a wheel to see who gets the free shirt. So enter headroom into the chat for a chance to win a free shirt.
I need you to do that. Teach me how to do that so that when I can, I may be giving out a free docky.
You don't stream from StreamYard, though, so you wouldn't be able to.
Oh, it's a StreamYard thing?
This is specifically a StreamYard thing, yeah.
I might need to borrow you just for that.
Fair enough. I can do that for you. Oh, UAF Omega, you clever son of a bitch, you. All right, let's see. How many people are watching right now? We've got 39 of you watching, so I know there's got to be more entries. Yeah, 12 entries right now. Yep, type headroom in the chat.
Davina says, trivia bit, the creators of the TV show saw the sign Max Headroom in a parking garage.
Huh.
Davina has been all over the Max Headroom aspect of this tonight, and we're all better for it. Thank you.
Well, in the interim, for a two-banger, Monkey needs a headroom. Monkey?
That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
Bingo, bango, bongo there. Thank you so much, brother. We will let it go for about another, I'll say 30 seconds, since there's about a 7-second delay, and then we will spin the wheel. And you know what? While we're waiting, we'll give you some more Max.
Hey, who are you talking to?
What?
Are you cracking up?
Why?
All this mumbling and muttering, you got a head on your shoulders, use it.
And the nuclear powers have just denied rumors that the world's waters are being polluted by
He's got the Chad jawline.
pollution is being caused not by them, but by all the dead fish
Yeah, it's all prosthetics, right? Like
in the sea.
All righty. I think it's about time we spin the wheel. Final entries coming now. Type in headroom, all one word. UAF Omega for a two-banger. Every homie is incomplete without a headroom.
Home, not homie.
Oh, home. I'm retarded.
Stop it. Get some help.
He's not in the headroom, guys.
All right, time to draw.
Good luck. Dixie!
Best mod in the whole damn land one. How about that?
Oh, it was so close to the birthday boy too.
It was so close to the birthday boy. I feel kind of bad about it, but by the same token, it's like, well, you know, everyone had a fair shake. So
yeah, they did.
All right. Well, Dax, you'll have to send me your information and let me know which one you want between the two. And yeah, you and you can just hit me up on Discord, Dax. We talk all the time. So with that being said, thank you, everyone. The official Words of Paradise merch is now on the store. You can check that out along with the other, merch if you're interested. We got various shirts, hoodies, things to that effect. So beyond that, I think it's just time that we round it out and get everybody out of here because Cindy's got to stream a little bit later, and we need to raid into. Let's see if Nani is streaming. If not, we'll figure it out. Cindy, tell me who you are, what you do, what you got coming up, the whole nine.
Hey guys, I'm Cinevere. You guys can find me on all platforms as Cinevere. I will be doing Halloween stuff tonight. I even got a costume planned and a new bedroom for y'all. Anyway, I cannot wait to see you at midnight tonight on my channel. Yeah.
Bingo. Guys, I won't lie. I've seen the costume and I've seen the bedroom. You're gonna want to check this shit out. You're gonna want to check this shit out. It's looking mighty fine. So alrighty, Sammy, what about you? What you got? Actually, let's hit the super chat real quick. Girly Banana for a two-banger. The amount of headroom is equivalent to 2 monkeys. Wait, even more. You said 2 monkeys. Well, I got 2 monkeys for you right here.
Hey, you should have.
Oh yeah, Leon definitely got jungle fever.
Good dark meat. I like dark meat.
Leon definitely has jungle fever. Gang.
Again, nice dark meat.
40 lashes for the monkey lover.
There you go. Two
Uh,
monkeys for you right there. All righty, crew. Sammy, what you got coming up? Tell the people who you are, what you do, the whole nine.
I'm Sammy 3Pete. You can find me on YouTube and yeah, you can find me on all platforms. But you just want to see what I'm about, follow me on Twitter. And for God's sakes, go to my YouTube and subscribe. That would help me out immensely.
You'll love to see it. As for me, same thing as always. We got streams every day, videos every day. If you missed Countercast yesterday, we did. There's a section of that clipped out that you can watch as a video today about the new information on Resident Evil 9. Also, check out yesterday's video about the problem of anime tourism. And, of course, tomorrow will be the lunch hour at 1 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be a pretty interesting show. I've got to get up quite early to get my cat fixed, and so it's going to be a long day tomorrow. But we're doing the lunch hour stream. There's a lot to talk about, so yeah, check out the previous streams, the videos. For those of you that donated, thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. It means the absolute world to me. For those of you that are unable to or choose not to, hey, that's A-okay. You're here for the conversation. It's fantastic. Truly, you guys help guide it forward. And beyond that, I think it's about time we get out of here. By the way, we're rating Sevi. She's a sweetheart, close to my heart. I adore that broad. We were hanging out earlier. It's a good day. So make sure you go into Sevi's stream and you type Vital Idol Raid. And guys, until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise.